Additional rounds of showers and thunderstorms blowing into the Bluegrass State. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. I'm tracking the severe weather threat and the potential for high water coming up.
More heavy rain expected tonight. I'll tell you how homeowners who were previously flooded this past weekend are preparing.
They stand with Rand. Hundreds are in Louisville helping the senator kick off his presidential campaign.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon to you. It has been a rainy and stormy day for many of us.
And it will continue into the evening hours, bringing the threat of more flooding and maybe some severe storms. We have just declared a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day to keep you updated. Let's go right now to our Chief Meteorologist, Chris Bailey.
Yeah, guys, severe thunderstorm watch is only out for areas west of Interstate 65, yet severe thunderstorm warnings are coming out now well to the east of the watch. So we'll have to keep an eye on that to see if that has expanded a little farther east to include parts of central and eastern Kentucky. Suspect that may end up being the case. We look at live First Alert Defender now with that line of thunderstorms out to our west, but individual thunderstorms now beginning to gather some steam out ahead of that initial surge. And these are very, very slow movers pulling out of Springfield into downtown Harrisburg. That one may have a little small hail with it. And this is our storm tracker that is on this, that is putting it into parts of Mercer County over the next hour. So this is the cone that Defender is tracking this with over the next hour. The core of that storm, it's a very slow mover. It doesn't move a whole lot in an hour's time. Another slow moving thunderstorm is now on top of Salvisa, southern parts of Lawrenceburg, into sections of Woodford County. That's going to try to develop into the northwestern tip of Jessamine County, western parts of Fayette County coming up over the next 15-20 minutes or so. Bigger complex of thunderstorms to the north of Interstate 64. That is a newly issued severe thunderstorm warning, by the way. Henry, Oldham, and Trimble counties. That's back to our northwest. But all of this continues to slowly work its way toward the east. So if you're watching us right now into parts of Franklin County, we know we had to go through a lot of serious flooding on Friday. Some areas had some high water issues a few hours ago with those slow-moving thunderstorms into parts of Scott County as well. So that's an area that is likely now to see renewed high water issues as we get these clusters of showers and storms to continue to make their way across the area. That main band continues to work toward Interstate 65. We'll time that into the Lexington Metro coming up between 6 and 8 o'clock this evening as it stands now. Flooding, primary threat number one, especially for those creeks, streams, and street flooding. Guys, we'll continue to watch Defender lighting up, and we'll get back to you if we get any additional warnings, watches, or information on those storms.
Okay, Chris, not what we need. In many communities, water's already high because of last week's heavy rains.
And that means that it did not take long for today's rainy weather to cause flash flooding. WKYT's Monique Blair shows us the problems high water caused in a few Scott County roads in our top story at 5.
I'm at the Elkhorn Trailer Park in Scott County, and the woman who lives at this trailer told me this past weekend the rain covered this second step here. And now, although the rain has receded, homeowners who live in Scott County tell me they're just preparing now for the rain expected tonight.
Started raining and raining pretty hard, and then as the rain kept going and going, stuff got saturated. End up kind of turning into a lake over here.
After last Friday's thunderstorm, Brad Smith says the roads outside his home were covered in water, at times threatening to come into his home. Smith says he was lucky because his home sits higher than the others, but his neighbor 2 doors down wasn't so lucky.
And then this guy here, it ends up running down his backyard and fills his basement up.
Scott County Emergency Management Director Jack Donovan says a few roads flooded quickly earlier today because the grounds were still so wet from Friday. And with more heavy rain expected tonight, Donovan says there could be more flooding issues.
Just kind of hope and pray that it goes elsewhere or stops before it keeps going and going, but just kind of deal with it.
Scott County Emergency Management officials tell me as of right now there are not any roads closed in the county due to flooding, but they say they are keeping an eye on the weather, so if that changes, we will keep you updated. In Scott County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Senator Rand Paul wants the nation's top job. He visited Louisville today to announce he is running for president. Hundreds of people attended the event to show their support for the Republican from Kentucky. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy has more on today's big announcement.
Top 40's hits blared through the speakers onto a lot of young voters' ears. The Kentucky senator has a passionate group of people backing him.
Rand Paul seems like he's a fresh face. He's a real restart.
I think he has the determination to actually change how government is run in Washington.
Young and old voters are taking a stand with Rand. A couple hundred packed a Louisville ballroom Tuesday.
Rand has a very unique stance. We like it's constitutional, and we support that.
My husband and your awesome U.S. Senator, Rand Paul.
Introduced as a father with a strong work ethic and a doctor with a heart for those less fortunate, fellow politicians and community leaders welcomed his campaign for president.
Although I was born into the America that experiences and believes in opportunity, my trips to Detroit, to Appalachia, to Chicago have revealed what I call an undercurrent of unease. It's time for a new way, a way predicated on justice, opportunity, and freedom.
The senator will hold another rally Wednesday in New Hampshire. In Louisville, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
He will continue to make appearances the next 4 days in South Carolina, Iowa, and Nevada. So, what are Senator Rand Paul's chances of being elected president? We asked WKYT political editor Bill Bryant to weigh in on that. He says the senator believes he can widen the appeal of the Republican Party and has a national base of support, which gives him a good shot.
This time, the Republicans have a serious contender in Rand Paul, and it's the first national contender from this state since the early 1800s.
And just last month, our WKYT Herald Leader Bluegrass poll looked at Senator Rand Paul in a run for the White House. 30% of those polled think the senator should get out of politics and not run for any office. 23% think he should run for both president and Senate next year. 19% say he should just run for president. Many communities are still cleaning up following last week's heavy rains and storms.
In Harrison County, the weather left behind a pretty big mess at the River Road Ballpark. WKYT's Jordan Valline shows us what it will take to get the park back to normal.
Once again, Mother Nature proved to be a worthy opponent out here in the Cynthiana Ballpark, where several feet of rain flooded the area this past weekend, leaving behind a muddy mess. Over the years,
we've had some experience at it, yeah.
Locals have learned that when heavy rain hits, flooding follows.
It's the same every year. I mean, this is the time of the year, if it's going to flood, it floods.
The recent rainfall flooded the concession stand with 3 feet of water.
I mean, here's the watermark right here.
Ruining refrigerators, freezers, and baseball equipment, among other items.
It's the mud. We've got to get the mud out of it.
Employees spent the day power washing the concession stand and trying to salvage equipment. We're told the baseball field has flooded about 4 times in the past decade. Even though moving to another field seems like a simple solution, the Parks and Rec director said it's just not that easy.
I mean, if we had the money, we'd just move it and make it some other type of park, and everything would be fine. But we don't have the money, so therefore we deal with it like this.
The girls' high school softball tournament set for this weekend will be postponed. In Cynthiana, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
The Parks and Recreation Director said the flooding may postpone the season depending on how long it takes crews to clean up the park. Just a few miles from the ball field, the Cynthiana Airport also flooded over the weekend. An airport administrator says several inches of water covered the airport's runway and low-lying hangars. Employees had to move the remaining airplanes to higher ground. The force of rushing water sent nearby crops into the hangars as well.
As the floodwaters come through, it all kind of went down toward the river and it went into the hangar, so we had piles of corn shucks in the hangars.
Floodwaters swept away a section of the airport's fence as well. The condition of a Lexington man injured in last week's storms is improving. Brian Carlson has been upgraded to serious condition at UK Hospital. Carlson, his wife Kathy, and their 3 children were camping at Natural Bridge State Park when a storm knocked a tree onto their tent. Kathy died. The children were not injured.
An 18-year-old admits she killed her grandparents. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Lincoln County. Allison Wilson pled guilty but mentally ill to 2 counts of murder in the deaths of Everett and Linda Garland. Police say she set fire to their home in November of 2013. Prosecutors have recommended a 25-year sentence on each charge. The Interior Journal reports Wilson will be sentenced on May 22nd. In Breathitt County, dozens of students were taken to the hospital this afternoon after two school buses collided. It happened about 3:30 in front of LBJ Elementary off of Highway 15 near Jackson. The Breathitt County Emergency Management Agency says the buses were loaded. About 100 total students were on board at the time. One student had glass in her eye. The rest were taken to the hospital as a precaution. And in Laurel County, deputies arrested a man suspected of assaulting his wife. The sheriff's office says Patrick Graham repeatedly hit her with an electrical cord, leaving red marks on her leg. We're told he also scuffled with the deputy during his arrest. He's charged with assault, resisting arrest, menacing, and alcohol intoxication.
All right, Chris, thank you. If you suffer from allergies, you might want to stock up on the tissues.
And doctors expect there to be more sniffling and sneezing, especially later in the season. Our Rebecca Smith shows us why it's going to be a tough one in a story that's new at 5.
Relief from snow and ice in the form of green on the trees and warmth in the air has downside.
I think our pollen season's delayed, but I think it's going to be robust.
Francois Pomerleau got pricked by about 30 needles Tuesday as part of his allergy screening test at Dr. Beth Miller's office in Lexington.
The one that react are itchy.
Yeah.
So.
What have you found out so far that you're allergic to?
Well, so far she told me grasses, rodents, except rabbit. I'm not allergic to rabbit.
The rain we're getting this week does help outdoor allergy sufferers, but long term, Dr. Miller says because of a snowy winter and the early rain we're getting this spring, it could spell for a pretty bad allergy season later into the spring, into the summer, and in the fall when you see a lot of ragweed pollen. Tree pollen is most prevalent in the spring, grass in the summer, and ragweed in the fall. You can get an allergy shot, nasal spray, or take your treatment in pill form. In the last year, a new solution's become available.
There are now FDA-approved sublingual drops for pollen, for ragweed in particular. You have to start it about 4 months before your season.
In Lexington, Rebecca Smith, WKYT.
You can use nasal sprays, but Dr. Miller suggests you avoid Afrin because it can lead to dependency.
It is time now for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Many experts will tell you for babies, breast milk is best, but turning to the internet to get it might not be a good idea. Clark Powell shows us why.
Pediatricians say breast milk is healthiest for infants, so to get enough, some mothers are going as far as buying breast milk on the internet. Researchers at Nationwide Children's Hospital estimate there are more than 55,000 people purchasing or sharing breast milk online.
It's really hard to know what you're getting and whether the person on the other end of that email or Facebook conversation is really who you think they are. And we found that 1 in 10 samples of milk that we purchased online had high levels of cow's milk or infant formula added to it. When people are selling their milk online, they may have an incentive financially to top off their milk with cow's milk or baby formula to increase the volume and make more money.
That can be dangerous for moms who are turning to breast milk online because their baby has a dairy allergy.
They can have a serious allergic reaction or have a lot of gastrointestinal illness when they drink cow's milk. I think it's really buyer beware. You don't know what's in the milk that you're purchasing, and I think it's clear from the series of studies we've conducted that milk purchased on the internet is not safe for babies.
Researchers recommend moms talk to their pediatrician to decide what feeding plan is best.
Every baby's different, and I think it's really important for parents to work closely with their pediatrician to consider the baby's health.
At Nationwide Children's Hospital, this is Clark Powell reporting.
Investigators found many women selling breast milk online were also vague about their health. The misdiagnosis of breast cancer is costing the U.S. millions. A new study found mammograms that generate false positives add up to about $4 billion a year. Researchers say the findings indicate the cost of breast cancer over treatment is much higher than previously thought. Higher taxes might help cut down on deadly alcohol-related car crashes. Researchers found when Illinois boosted its alcohol tax in 2009, the number of people killed in alcohol-related crashes dropped 26%. The study couldn't prove the drop in death rates was solely due to the tax increase, but researchers say policymakers should look at it as a possible solution.